What's up, everybody? It's your boy TL. Need to apologize. Usually, I do this video on Tuesday. Unfortunately for me, I was going through a breakup on Tuesday, and I felt like crawling in a hole and dying. So that's why I didn't do it Tuesday. I'm doing much better now. So let the party begin. Start with the boring stuff: kickers and defense. Based on if your kicker's on bye this week or you're not happy with your kicker's output, I recommend the following for week 5: Hartley, Nugent, Baronis, Vinatieri, Scobie, Bailey, Bullock, Folk, and Carpenter. There's 5 defenses I like this week: Kansas City, St. Louis, Carolina, San Diego, and Atlanta. Okay, moving on to the more juicy stuff. There's 5 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 4 receivers, and 6 tight ends that I like in week 5. Quarterbacks. I like Stafford against Green Bay. Green Bay's pass defense not so good. Vic against the Giants. As you know, Giants are pretty bad this year, and their pass defense is pretty porous. So Vic should have a good game. Cam Newton against Arizona. Arizona has a decent defense, but I think the Panthers are a better team than Arizona. I think they'll win by double digits, and so Newton's good for multiple touchdowns. Number 4 is Philip Rivers against Oakland. Oakland's not a very good team. I think the Chargers will easily win this game, and Oakland's defense, gives up a decent amount of points each game. And last but not least, Matt Ryan against the Jets. They're playing on Monday Night Football. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. The Jets don't have a bad defense, but I think they'll win pretty handily on Monday Night Football, so he's a good pickup. Moving on to running backs. Running backs, Reggie Bush against Green Bay. As I said, Green Bay's defense isn't that good this year. Reggie Bush he's an ideal fit for the Lions offense, so he's a good play. Trent Richardson against Seattle is also a good play. Seattle's defense, I think, is going to give up at least one rushing touchdown to each opposing team. So with that being said, they're talking about Donald Brown playing a big role, so that's kind of gives you something to think about. So maybe not Richardson, but he's kind of an automatic start for me in my leagues. By the way, I went 8-1 this last week in fantasy, so still going good for me. D'Angelo Williams against Arizona. I think he's a solid running back this year. Arizona won't hold him under 80 yards. So he should have a good game. Frank Gore against Houston. Houston's defense really worries me. Unfortunately, I have them in one of my fantasy leagues, and they're not as good as I thought they would be. So Frank Gore should have another solid game, 100 yards plus. And last but not least, Powell from Atlanta. Powell from Atlanta, he's been coming on a lot better recently. And Atlanta's defense, if you notice, they just played the Patriots, and there was a lot of running room. So with that being said, Powell's the guy for the Jets. So I look for him to have a pretty good game. Moving on to receivers, there's only 4 receivers I recommend this week. Dwayne Bowe against Tennessee, Justin Blackmon against St. Louis, Deshaun Jackson against the Giants, and Stephen Hill against Atlanta. Dwayne Bowe, he's a monster. Tennessee has a pretty good defense this year, but he's pretty much the only guy that Alex Smith throws to. So he'll have a good game. They're going to definitely beat Tennessee with Jake Locker out. Justin Blackmon is the good pickup. I apologize not putting this out on Tuesday because he came off waivers, but he had a 4-game suspension. He's back. The Jaguars are the worst team in the league, so they're going to be throwing a lot, and he's their number 1 pass catcher. So he should have a good week the rest of the year, in my opinion. Deshaun Jackson, there's nobody on the Giants that can guard Deshaun Jackson, Prince Amukamara included. So he should have a big game. And last but not least, Stephen Hill. The Jets will be losing to Atlanta on Monday Night Football, so they're going to have to throw. Santonio Holmes is out right now, so he's got to throw to somebody. So I look for that to be Kellen Winslow and Stephen Hill. Moving on to tight ends, last but not least, I recommend 6 tight ends this week. Jordan Cameron, Fleener from the Colts, Jason Witten, Vernon Davis, Antonio Gates, and Kellen Winslow. Cameron, he's an automatic start. I mean, he's scored almost every week for the Browns. He's a monster. Nothing's going to change tonight when we play Buffalo. Fleener, their other tight end went out for the season, so he's going to have solid stats the rest of the year, in my opinion. It's going to be a tough game against Seattle, but I think he'll get his stats. Witten against Denver, this is a big play because Denver is beyond hot. I thought that Dallas had a chance to beat them this week, but Dallas just lost to San Diego, so now I'm second-guessing myself. I think Denver probably will win that game. It'll probably be a shootout. And if Denver's trying to play catch-up, they're going to throw a lot, and those balls are going to go to Bryant or Witten. Vernon Davis against Houston. Vernon Davis is solid. Houston doesn't have that good of a pass defense, so I see him getting loose for some good stats. Antonio Gates against Oakland. Antonio Gates looks like his old self, and Oakland doesn't have that good of a defense, so no brainer. And last but not least, Kellen Winslow against Atlanta. Kind of a risky pick. That's kind of like if you're putting in a bye week or something like that. But like I said, they're going to be losing, so they're going to have to throw, and I think they're going to throw it to Winslow and Hill. But anyways, good luck this week, guys. I apologize once again for not putting it on Tuesday, but it shouldn't happen again. So I'm about to go to the bar and watch my Browns beat the Bills. Have a good week. Good luck in fantasy. I'll see you next week.